Hey Tony, this is David. I'm going to show you the fundamentals of JavaScript, and then we're going to actually go and solve some problems on codewars.com. I actually solved the problem earlier today that I'm going to go over, but before we do it, there's some preliminary knowledge you have to know. So I'm assuming you have a computer and you have one Firefox or any browser. This one's Safari. I'm going to show you first how to open up the inspector on any browser. So what you want to do is you want to right click and press inspect element. Once you press inspect element, there's going to be a number of choices. You're going to want to go to console, and inside the console over here where it's ticking, that's where we put in our code. You can start out by putting clear open close parentheses to clear everything. I'm just going to demonstrate how to open it also in Mozilla and Google just so that you can get a sense. So random website, right click, inspect element. They're always going to be in a different place, so in this one it's the second one, console. There's nothing here right now, but clear. What the console allows you to do is write JavaScript code. So I actually feel more comfortable in the Mozilla Firefox version, so I'm just going to show you something really quickly here. I'm going to show you variable assignments. So variable assignment allows you to give a value to a variable. For example, if we said Tony equals 8, the computer has stored in its internal memory that the number for Tony is 8. So if I say Tony, it's going to reply 8. And if I say Tony plus 5, it's going to reply 13. Notice how the white space doesn't matter. Now let's say I add another variable and call it Christina equals 10. So now if I say Tony plus Christina, and you can press tab and it'll finish it for you, so you won't misspell it, it'll say 18. So that's variable assignment. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a for loop. A for loop is basically a way to, how do I put this? Basically, if you have to do something very repetitive, it's like if you have to do something very, very repetitive, like count from 1 to 10 or count from 10 to 1 or repeat something as long as a condition is met, that's when you'll use a for loop. So I'm just going to jump right into it. If you want, follow along, type this into your console regardless of what browser you're using. So first what we're going to do is, if you're confused at first, don't worry, just go along with it. I'm going to count down. I'm going to have the browser count down from 10 to 1. So the for loop works like this. It says for I equals 0. That means this is variable assignment. This is like when we did Tony equals 8 or Christina equals 10. This could be anything. It doesn't have to be I. I is just convention. For I equals 0, I is less than. I is less than 10. I plus plus. So what this is saying is I starts at 0 and keep running this for loop until I hits 9 because it's less than 10. Once it hits 10, the loop is going to start. And it says at the end of each loop, increment I by 1. So I will become 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we want to tell it what to do upon each iteration of the for loop. And we're going to say console.log I. So I know there's a lot of new things we're introducing. One is a for loop. A console.log just says print to my console. And the actual for loop itself. And you could play around with this where you can make this number 10, 20, 30. And let's see what happens right now. Press enter. Boom. So it ran 10 iterations of this, and once it hit 10, it stopped. It went 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the basic of a for loop, the basic condition is for I equals 0, semicolon. I is, let's say, more than 50 you could do. So this loop would be an infinite loop. It would actually never stop, because if I is starting at 0 and it never is more than 50, then the loop's going to go on forever. If you start an infinite loop, your computer won't break. Just press escape. So I'm going to start I at 100 and say as long as I is greater than 50, keep going. And then instead of doing I plus plus, this time we're going to do I minus minus, meaning decrement. Take down I at the end of each variation, or each iteration. It's more correct. I was using a chess term. And double squiggly line, console.log I. Enter, and guess what's going to happen? Basically, I is starting at 100. It's going to count down until, I would say, 51, because 51 is greater than 50, and it's going to stop. See? So that's the basics of variable assignment and a for loop. I'm going to stop the video here before getting into the actual problem. I'm just going to show you codewars.com. I'm going to show you the problem that we're going to be working on in the next video. I'm going to try to keep them short, like under 5 minutes, just so, you know, it's going to make it easier in terms of like if I make a mistake or if I need to edit the video. My username, I use the same as LIChess. So this is my first video. I'm going to make try to do about 50 to 100 of them for coding. Let's try this. Don't save. Okay, so here's the main terminal. Here's my account profile. I have 1,164 points. The cool thing about this site is once you get a problem correct, you can never lose the points. And then this is the people that I follow that are following me. You could follow people, you could see other people's answers. A kata is like similar to a problem in chess tempo. So you click kata, and then if you do my languages, right now we're doing JavaScript. So you want to go to JavaScript because it's a good language to start learning programming. And we're going to start with the 8s. The 8s are the easiest and the 1s are the hardest. So this is like the equivalent of, I would say, 800 to 1200 in tactics. And this is like the over 22, 2300 section. These problems take more than a day to complete. So we're going to start with the 8s. I'm going to show you one example of an 8 in every single category down here, from fundamentals, data types, algorithms, numbers, all the way down to data conversion, closures, and then hopefully we'll get to some 7s. And I think once you do a couple of them, gain confidence, you'll be knocking down 6s and 5s really easily. Okay, so that's it for this video. Let me know if you were able to test out variable assignment as well as for loops in your own browser. And I'm going to come back in the next video and I'm going to show you a problem I did this morning. View profile, solutions, try not to look. Actually, it doesn't matter if you look because I'm going to break it down step by step. So sum of differences in an array. I haven't gone through what an array is, but I tried to comment my code with these 2 backslashes. Comment means it doesn't actually affect the code. And the parts that aren't commented are the actual code. So I'm going to go through this problem with you in the next video. And then we'll take a look at some other stuff later. That's it for now.